It's time to cringe together because what I got for you today is a Silver League match of Terran versus Zerg. I already love it. Spawning here in the top left hand corner of Odyssey LE and playing with the red Zerg drones. We have none other than Zaneling. He came up with his own Zerg unit when he first created his StarCraft 2 account, and his opponent actually already sending out an SCV at the 0-minute mark. He goes by the nickname of Mike Hawksbig. Do you think that's just his first and his last name? Mike Hawksbig? I guess so. If you look in like the phone book, you'll be able to find exactly where he lives. I don't actually know if that's the case, but regardless, this is going to be a bit of an interesting build right here, because Mike doesn't actually have a supply depot. Now you do need to go. No, are you gonna make? Oh, I was gonna say you need a supply depot in order to make a barracks. That is a little bit odd. He's gonna go for the very classic, good old proxy command center. Now, I have seen something like this before. Mike is gonna follow this up with a gas as well. I think he's gonna go for an engineering bay. I think... Oh no. I think the very first game that I've ever casted of a viewer-submitted replay, just like this one, was also a Planetary Fortress rush. Oh man. Mike, you absolute madman. Apparently, he's gonna go ahead and wall himself in. He's now also sending a couple of SCVs across the map. This is pretty cool, though, because Zerg is already going for that very, very quick hatchery right here on the low ground. And this is Silver League. There is no denying that Zane probably has never seen something like this before. Speaking of which, Zane just made himself a handful of overlords, because, you know, you don't want to be supply blocked. Ugh. Being supply blocked, better make 4 overlords just to make sure that that is not going to be the case. But these overlords are getting awfully close to touching this Okay. Oh, no, he does see it. Okay, I was gonna say. Alright, so he does see that there's a command center going up. Question is, did he notice it, though? Here's what he's gonna do. Yeah, Mike is gonna go ahead and load those SCVs inside of the command center. Engineering bay is already done at home. He does have almost enough, yeah, he actually, oh my god, he's actually just simply gonna land it right over here somewhere, probably. I like it. This is so cheeky. This is something that is actually surprisingly strong, because... the fact of the matter is that Zane has to respond to this right now. I mean, he did kind of see that there was a command center. But if he's just simply making drones, which seems to be the case right now, this command center is gonna land, the SCVs are gonna get out of it. There we go, he's gonna morph into Planetary Fortress right away. Now these SCVs, right, they are gonna be able to repair this command center up for quite a little bit of time as well. And there's no denying that Mike is gonna be in a little bit of trouble. Or rather, Zane is gonna be in a little bit of trouble. Mike is just simply letting one of his SCVs take a bunch of damage. Of course, they can repair each other up. There you go. Look, they're going for the hug of love. Incredible play. Sadly, one of them will have to end up dying there. A single queen is also feeling brave enough, but the Planetary Fortress rush is in full effect as Mike did indeed finish up his Planetary Fortress at the 3-minute mark. He's gonna be able to get rid of these Zerglings. Just blood remains right now, and maybe a couple of limbs here and there. And apparently, Mike, come on now. Now you're pushing your luck. You actually... are you gonna go for another one? You know, if you're gonna commit to 2, you may as well make a 3rd one. Go ahead, Mike. Mike, come on. Mike, we're all waiting. We're all waiting for it. Oh, you actually need minerals, eh? I guess you were busy making it. Come on, one more. Right here. There you go. Good job, Mike. So Mike is gonna go... for what seems to be a Planetary Fortress contain. A Planetary Fortress container. Now, so far, it's not really achieving a whole lot, other than the fact that, you know, his opponent is not going to be able to rally units down from the main ramp towards the natural. That is going to be a little bit annoying, but there's no denying that right now, Zane has got 29 Harvesters versus, or I guess 31 right now, versus only 17. Of which a bunch of them are, of course, across the map, just to make sure. Are you going to make another one? Mike, you know, you've got them covered in the main. Make another one right out here. Yeah. Dude, yeah. Perfect. I don't know exactly how you plan on actually winning this game, but I guess if they are, you know, contained on 2 bases, this may actually still be rather painful. Now, we do already see Zane adding on a whole lot of Zerglings. Please do not run those down that ramp. That is gonna hurt really badly. But there is another Planetary Fortress right now coming in the main, and there is actually a... okay, I like this. I like that a lot. I was wondering why you went up to quite such a quick lair here. I was wondering if he was gonna go for maybe Mutalisk play, or I guess, for example, the Nidus network as well. If you can go ahead and put down a Nidus worm, for example, inside of the main here of Mike, this could actually hurt quite a bit, because obviously at this point in the game, there's like nothing to defend. Mike isn't even able to make a, an orbital command at this point either, by the way. I guess he could morph his main command center into a planetary as well. I wonder if Mike is really planning to make another command center right outside of that natural, though, although there is an overlord over here. There are very few attacking units available right now for the Zerg player. Third Planetary Fortress is just about to finish up. Yeah. And the fact of the matter is that there's now also a fourth one coming down right here. Apparently Zane wants to also get himself another lair, because one lair is not going to be enough. But there's a fourth command center now going up. Or I guess the fifth in total then. That allows Mike to also, I guess, contain this Zerg opponent inside of his own natural. This is actually kind of cheeky. Mike now even making sure that he's not going to die to just a couple of Mutalisk, for example. At this point, of course, he's completely in the dark. He doesn't know about this Nidus worm. But there's no denying that soon, with Nemete's Carapace finishing up, Zane is likely going to be pushing this Overlord forward, and I hope he will, to go ahead and kill all of the production right here from the Terran player in blue. This is so dirty. I remember doing something like this, you know, at the very least something very similar back in like Wings of Liberty, when I first got to do my placement matches and I wanted to do something really silly. This doesn't really work at higher levels of play, but if somehow, some way, right, you get a single planetary fortress. I don't actually like, you know, the 3-4, you know, planetaries that he's making right now, but if you manage to get a single planetary fortress up in the main base of your Zerg opponent, it's actually a really tough thing to deal with. The only thing Mike, you know, needs to do though is come up with a win condition, because right now at this point in the game, Overlords are heading into his main already. He doesn't know about them at this point in time, and I think that we're gonna be seeing, well, maybe he's gonna put a Nidus right here next to the command center, which would be an option as well, because these SCVs can't really go very many places anyway. I guess technically speaking, he could go ahead. Mike! This is just like the Crescent Moon Rush. Are you kidding me? Zane is gonna be able to put that Nidus worm inside of the main base of his opponent. Maybe he assumes that you need cruise threat in order to put that structure down as well. Regardless though, Mike is doing the typical beginner mistake where he's like really overdoing the amount of defense that you need here. One planetary is essentially achieving the exact same thing as these others as well, although I guess it's a little bit more powerful. Zerglings now, however, inside of that main base of the blue Terran player. These SCVs apparently are now pulled towards the low ground as well. I think you're better off putting them on, indeed, repair. Here we go. Go ahead, give those structures a little bit of a touch-up. And actually, this is going to be a little bit odd, because I don't think this structure will fall. Yeah, none of these structures will actually fall. I mean, Mike can just continue mining here for a little while longer. He does have another command center now finishing up as well. The fact of the matter is, though, that Zane has now snuck out a third base as well. He's getting himself Hydralisk, and he's going to be capable of just simply using those to potentially continue pushing here, right? And while, you know, Mike eventually ran out of resources there, so he wasn't actually capable of repairing anymore. I don't think he actually was able to there for just a little while. He's going to be able to defend against these Zerglings just fine. In particular, if Zane is just attack moving with about, I don't know, 30 Zerglings on a single supply depot. 3 SCVs are going to be able to do a very fine job and making sure that this is not going to end up falling. And Mike is going to continue mining. Here's the thing. What exactly does Mike plan on winning this game with? I gotta hand it so far, by the way, to Zane as well. He's just simply continuing the expansions here throughout the southern end of the map. I can imagine he's probably never seen something like this before, and judging by the amount of minerals and gas that he's already saved up, this is definitely going to be a first, but I think that he's in a really solid position, because there's really no proper way for Mike right now to close out this game. The only thing that he cannot do is try and take care of these planetaries. Do not fight these planetary fortresses, okay? Like, you can maybe sneak some units by, that's alright. But just, like, make a big army. Use the Nidus canals to just group them all up together, and you could probably do a lot of damage. Although that is something that requires a little bit of practice. It is not easy, actually, to deal with all of these weird openers if you're not entirely sure how to respond to it, and you're still, like, trying to decide what the best option is going to be. Zane now finished up a whole lot of Overlords as well, or at the very least, he's just about to. Another Nidus network is actually going down. There are some Hydralisks and Zerglings inside of the Nidus network right now, and while he's still contained with all of these planetary fortresses, right? He's still contained here. These Hydras are going to be able to wreak havoc on this natural expansion here of Mike, or at the very least at that second base positioning. There we go. Zane is going to be able to unload all of these Hydralisks and Zerglings as well, and that means that Mike's economy is in a world of hurt. Here we go. Mike is going to try his very best to, well, really not do anything. I guess he's just gonna end up losing this command center. There's a couple of hero SCVs still tasked with just simply defending the top of this ramp, but eventually they also decide to meet their fate. And now that the Hydras and the Zerglings here will be able to clean up that ramp, the other links will finally be able to group up with their brethren. And Zane just managed to deny his opponent's economy for a very long amount of time. There's still that command center that never was actually morphed into a planetary. I mean, he doesn't have an engineering bay anymore, so there's no way he can actually go ahead and do that. Interestingly enough, we are currently 10 minutes into this game, and Mike has yet to make an attacking unit, other than, of course, a planetary fortress. He hasn't done anything but make planetary fortresses and SCVs, and then I guess also a couple of missile turrets and depots. And I guess that single engineering bay as well, but no Marines, no Marauders, no factories, nothing. It's just been, oh, no, okay. Well, apparently this one also had a death wish. Maybe that was the brother of one of the ones that fell over here, but regardless. I wonder what Mike's plan is going to be from here on out. So we do see a Spire now coming in for Zane. Zane does have a lot of minerals and gas already saved up. I would love to see him actually take some more gas and just simply take care of, for example, these missile turrets. Because at this point, right? Obviously, Terran is not going to be revealed anytime soon, because that only happens after every single main structure falls. Mike, though, is gonna lift up that command center. I would actually like him to load some SCVs into that command center. That would have been really cute. Or I guess he can just go ahead and walk them over, right? He can just like rally these these SCVs towards this, I guess, newly acquired base. The single SCV is desperately trying to make its way past all of these missile turrets, but it's a little bit too fat. I mean, I guess Christmas time was not kind to the single SCV, as he is gonna be stuck right around that corner. But apparently, this SCV train is just simply showing exactly what they are up to. Question is, did Zane notice? Because they are currently moving over. Now, Zane is currently scouting about as well, trying to figure out if there are any additional bases taken here by his Terran opponent. But at this point, he doesn't know that Mike just took the base right next to the main here of the Zerg player. And the funny part is, right, that Zane is likely not going to find out here for another little while either. I mean, he does have a lot of units still left over. He does have that Spire done right now as well, so he can go ahead and make 30 mutas right now if he's got enough larvae for that. I would actually not mind 25 Mutalisk right now. Although apparently Zane does have a different plan, as he does get himself apparently a infestation pit as well. Zane, you do not need, I don't think he realizes it, you do not need creep in order to put down a Nidus Worm. You can just put down the Nidus Worm no matter what. It doesn't make sense. It's the same as like an extractor. You don't need, it's weird. Don't ask. Anyway, now that Zane, once again, has got another Nidus Worm here ready to go, I think that Mike may be in a little bit of trouble as soon as this base gets found. So far, though, ooh, I like this. Zane is, yeah, there we go. Zane is finally going to be able to figure out exactly where that last mining expansion is going to be. Zane, what are you, Zane, what are you doing? Zane, why? Zane, this doesn't make it, Zane, you've got so many Hydras. Okay then, now interestingly enough, planetary fortresses deal a lot of damage. They also deal splash damage, 37, 39, 41, 44, there we go, 46, 47 kills. And apparently now the Lings and the Hydras woke up and they realized, hey, maybe we should have helped there. Hydras, of course, would have absolutely shut this one down very, very quickly, but with 63 kills, that's the last number that I saw right there, that planetary fortress ends up providing quite a bit of value. Zane, your overlord sees this. Look, you see these, like, this big, like, Zane. Okay, Zane, stop. Zane, are you gonna, please don't. Did I already mention that planetary fortresses deal splash damage? Oh my god. If he's gonna like run them in once again, that's There's actually now a planetary down here as well. Mike is just gonna continue making SCVs there. I mean, he's realized that his overlord is in vision as well, I think. Or maybe he hasn't quite realized that, but there is now that engineering bay up and running once again. 3 evolution chambers are coming in. Maybe Zane is planning to go for, like, Vipers? Vipers would be pretty good. Blinding Cloud, of course, does shut that down, but here we go. The Hydralisk are gonna try and engage against this Planetary Fortress, but Zane is not getting any value here whatsoever. Look at them. Just flying across the map, one each. That one apparently burned while the other ones just flew to their deaths. It's a little bit unfortunate. I guess they have 2 different attack commands. Now, once again, there's a lot of units remaining here in this Nidus network. I think that Zane may try and once again unload here. But if we think about this objectively once more, right? What exactly is Mike's win condition? And this is something really important when you play StarCraft 2. Right? I liked this single planetary there on top of the ramp. I like the one out here too. That was pretty cool. But what exactly did Mike plan on winning this game with? Because while it's not game over yet, I don't see how he could win. You know, that's the only issue that I really have here. Like, how exactly does Mike plan on winning with just planetary fortresses? I mean, you can't slow push them on creep. They're never going to be in range of the hive or any of these important tech structures. So, you know, you can't land the command center there. So what exactly is the plan going to be right here for our blue Terran player? Now, mutas are currently coming in. Zane is finally making 10 of those. He's actually starting up triple upgrades. Of course, the standard like 15-minute Evo chambers to go for the counter to the planetary fortresses with flying units. I love it. Second Spire now also coming in, and a greater Spire is getting morphed in here as well. A single SCV was feeling brave enough to poke at the bear. And the Zerglings apparently were like, okay, you know what? It was nice and cozy inside of that Nidus worm. Let's go ahead and hug our friends once again as well. But here we go. Mutalisk are going to be able to clean every single one of these SCVs up. Now, there are some missile turrets inside of that main base here. I guess of the Zerg player. So, you know, there are some missile turrets set up. But I can't help but wonder that this has been game over for Mike here for the last couple of minutes. I mean, he's desperately adding on more and more missile turrets. And look, I see as well that there are, you know, 17,000 resources in the bank right now for the Zerg. So essentially, Zerg probably should have already been able to overwhelm this. But what exactly is Mike planning on doing against this massive amount of Zerg economy, right? Does Mike even know about any of these bases? No, he thinks that maybe his opponent is going to be stuck on 2 bases. Maybe he's secretly hoping that Zerg is soon going to be mining out the main and the natural, and that Zerg will just leave because he's got no proper way of, like, dealing with all of this stuff. Maybe he's hoping that the Zerg player is so stressed out at this point by his really weird opponent strategy that the Zerg is just gonna end up leaving. That would be, you know, that I can imagine. I remember when I first started playing StarCraft myself. It can be a little bit scary. Once again, if you kill that Nidus network, this might actually get a little bit crazy. Only 800 HP remaining right here, Mike. Single SCV trying its very best. The Queen is now also going after that with its full energy set up already. Zane is going to continuously expand though. He's got himself another base now. Mutas are still hanging out as well. Adreno Glance is coming in. I think that Zane is trying to figure out a way that he can potentially kill this. But seriously though, here we go. Great Aspire is done. Corruptors are now coming in. Here we go. We probably are going to be seeing Brute Lords. Here's the thing though. Whenever you play StarCraft, right? You can definitely go for a strategy that tries to contain your opponent. But you have to come up with a way of obtaining the victory as well. Like, you have to figure out a win condition. Likewise, if you are falling behind in a game of StarCraft, right, and you find yourself with an absolutely terrible scenario where you don't think you can actually win anymore, rather than GGing out immediately, if you think there's still a slight chance, right, rather than just GGing out immediately, it's really helpful to once again come up with a win condition. So say, for example, you are, you know, you've only got like 30 workers remaining, your opponent is on like 60. There's still a chance you can win, right? There's still, hypothetically speaking, a chance you can win. Just simply put all of your eggs in one basket and make one final push. You're likely going to be in a pretty, you know, decent position. And maybe you only win like 25% of the games at that point. That's better than just GGing out right at that point in time, right? So come up with win conditions, because I think they are going to be absolutely crucial. Right now, for example, Mike has absolutely nothing. Mike is doing the Silver League thing, where he's probably currently looking at his phone. He's busy making an angry Battle.net post on the forums, complaining about how OP Zerg is. He may very well be checking Reddit on his phone as well, just to try and figure out what's going on. He may even be swiping left and right on Tinder right at this point in time, while he's got all of the SCVs continuously selected. Interestingly enough, he still has, some actions going on. I don't know what he's doing, though. I really don't know what his plan is. Likewise, I don't really know what the plan of the Zerg is going to be. There are indeed some Brute Lords remaining, and I think this may very well be a bit of an interesting end to this particular match, because there's really nothing available here anymore for our Terran player. He's still making SCVs, so he may just try and make a last-ditch effort to try and, repair up as many of these units as possible. Even a couple of Banelings are now also being morphed here by Zane, who is now transferring more and more drones towards this newly acquired expansion. Although they are not quite ready to a mineral line. Instead, they are just simply rallied right next to the hatchery to look at how beautiful and comfortable that creep feels beneath their little drone legs. Do drones actually have legs? I feel like that's the real thing to take away from this right now. Do drones have legs? Technically speaking, they float, right? How do they float? So effortlessly as well. Is it because of the creep? No, they can actually float off creep as well. Pretty incredible. Anyway, Zane is finally starting to make a little bit of a move for it. Look at the amount of stuff that he's got. Brute Lords are now also getting in position. More and more Mutas are now also getting morphed in. Zane has 14,500 minerals in the bank already. But I think shortly he's going to be able to start nibbling away at all of this. He's setting up a big surround. Finally unloading that Nidus network as well. Apparently 2 drones somehow were stuck in that thing as well. But here we go. Zane is going to try his very best to just simply engage all of this stuff to the best of his abilities. He's going to go after as many of these missile turrets as he possibly can. Even the Banelings are trying to connect with exactly that right now. And I think that the last seconds for Mike are indeed counting right now, with only a single refinery remaining. Mike is not gonna be able to GG out, and Zane ends up obtaining the victory against the Planetary Fortress Contain. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button down below. And if you want to see more, you know what to do. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get a notification as soon as I upload more. Other than that, though, I want to thank you for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile, alright? Special shout out to the Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. But I will see you all in the next one.